Now, I'm not sure if y'all looked at the very last video I posted about, the intentionality of higher education being being proposed or presented to particularly Black boys as an option. Like, is there intentionality of not just speaking it, but making sure it's a part of their reality? Are we prepping them for college as an option? We just can't afford not to prepare them for a knowledge-based society, right? All right, so that was the last post. Now, I guess because of what I do in my day job and what I see, I just can't unsee it. So, I'm not sure if you guys have been hip to or listened to commentary about the big, beautiful bill. And while I understand there are some things in it that are detrimental to social services for a lot of people, one of them in particular would affect the line of work that I'm in, working for the university. And one of them is all of the new stipulations with financial aid. I actually agree with some of the things that limit parents borrowing on behalf of their children, because when you got grown-ups, adults that are, if you got kids on their way to college, that means most people are almost closer to retirement age, and being on a hook for thousands of dollars and at the risk of somebody completing a program, I think that's a risk you just can't take later in life. But so there are limits on that. I think that's actually a good idea, but that's not what this that's not what this video is really about. Let me get to the point. The max limits on how much people can borrow for school, man. When you look at what the cost of tuition is, I don't care what your level of degree is, and what the max limits are per year, y'all better quit playing. I talk to people hesitant all day long. I think particularly Americans, our decisions are based largely in part, our decisions or lack of decision, which is also a decision, by the way, is based on the fact that we have the luxury of opportunity, the luxury of selection in a lot of ways that we don't realize that is not always the case in other places. And so we are not a country, you can say what you want, but this is where y'all live. But you got to learn how to play or exist where we live. So we're not in a country where education is free. It's just not. Now, at certain levels, it's more affordable than others. But if college education is something that you want to do, there is a cost associated with it. So I talk to people all day long, talking, oh, I'm going to give me a grant. And there are grants and there are scholarships with stuff. Do your research and get it. I got scholarships too. They didn't cover I didn't have that kind of scholarship, but get your stuff. But if there's still a portion of your tuition that you need assistance with and you're thinking about getting it from the federal government, that's about they're putting the kibosh on that come July of 2026. And so people like, I don't want to take out no loans. Listen, the amount that you could borrow today is about to drastically change next year. While people were doing one or two things, I get people that defaulted on loans years and years ago. I know a lot of people used to start school, collect a refund check and stop. And now they end up on the SSL list and all this, and so much. All that fooly-wang went on for years, which is why the country as a whole is in trillions and trillions of debt, because we fooly-wanged around. And I think the drastic measures are them trying to tighten it. And I don't think it's totally a bad idea. It just hurt because now they're doing it at a time where I think that people do need access to get the loans for those who want to go to school and have a plan to pay it back. Like, it's a loan. You have to pay it back. It was not a gift. It wasn't a grant. And so, what's that old song? Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and do right. I don't know if that's the word, but it felt good right there. So if you want to go to school, you need to go now. You need to go. I was just on the phone with a homie, and we talked about how people get in these highfalutin paying jobs, and they don't be knowing everything. They get in there and they figure it out. Get in school and figure it out. But because the window was closing for you to even have access. If the cap on, let's say, what got me was the cap on like professional degrees. So if you're trying to get like a medical degree or a law degree, the maximum the one could take out is something like 200,000. Them degrees is way more than that. So if it's 600,000, if it's 700,000, where they gonna get the other 500,000? They're not gonna go, or they're not gonna do that profession. If the maximum cap for a student to take out and get their bachelor's degree is like 30,000, but the school I'm at right now is 65,000, there's no more loans for that. I'm just saying, it's like the cuts. Go find the numbers out for yourself. But and my school is not a 65,000 for a bachelor's degree. Ain't cheap to me in context, because I remember when it wasn't that when I got my bachelor's degree. But that's the world you live in. Don't start talking about these HBCUs, especially the ones y'all like. Y'all like the Morehouses and the Spelmans and stuff. How is people gonna afford that? Huh? What is going? Go look into it. Go look into it. Stop playing around, y'all. Stop playing around. The luxury of choice is going. Okay? Don't say I didn't tell you when I told you.